Hi. Um, so, part two of my comeback, I guess. I wanted to kind of showcase my sketchbook that I had started in October. So it's then until now. I just want to kind of do like a tour of it, show like where I started, and then up to my progress now. And I think that will serve as like kind of like a good baseline for what is to come. So, don't want to do too much exposition here. I kind of want to jump straight in. So, here we go. October 7th, just me trying to mess with, like, actually trying to put, you know, skeleton, if you will. I started right here with, like, nothing like that. That was just, like, my first, like, baseline drawing. This is where I'm at. And then from here on out, I'm trying, like, to actually use, like, a method to my drawing instead of just going, like, you know, without any whatever that is, circles to like draw around. And then I continued that for a while, made some of these. And then I started moving on because I kind of did like a focus on raccoons here, just because I like them, they're cool. Random arbitrary like thing. But then I started trying to make big ones, like person-sized ones, because that's kind of what I'm going for. And then I decided that I wanted to try, because as you can see back here, like these are like noodles. I didn't like how undefined they were, so I decided to try and actually focus on how body parts are really shaped. And then I tried doing a couple of poses here. And I think this one turned out really smooth for some reason compared to all the other ones. But yeah, I did that for a bit. You can see some of my notes here. Yeah, and then this is like the final result of that study. I haven't been keeping track of the date, but October 8th. I think most of those were also October 8th. Yeah. And then, yeah, so this is what I had done with my study of body parts. I could kind of get them to sort of look like limbs. They looked a little bit like puppets. I didn't like that. I noted that they look really stiff. And then I cut that in half and then went back to just drawing freehand without any reference or anything. So I wanted to compare, because what I liked about this was that it was really flowy and like, wibbly wobbly. But this is super rigid and stiff. And I wanted to be able to have the flowiness while also having a good reference. So I just practiced some more poses and stuff to try and get that fluidity that I was looking for. And then I actually started using references as well. As you can see, I did this. And then this one I didn't actually use a reference, but it reminded me of a certain pose from a show that I watch. I'm sure many people know it, My Hero Academia. So I looked up a reference for that, and I spent some time trying to make this actual cool illustration. And I think it turned out really cool, as you can see. Cool. But yeah, and then moving on from that was October 9th to October 10th. Just more reference images. I tried drawing some non-furry things. Some, not a lot, it's mostly all furries. But yeah, I used more reference image, and then this was no reference, trying to just get a full body. And then this was me trying to make an actual big drawing, because as you can see, they've all been small. And that's what I had always been doing, because I was like doodling on my school papers and stuff. That's been my only experience in drawing until now. So I tried to level up and make some big art, and then, as you can see, I was not very happy with it. But, yeah, moving on, I just had one more over here that I did. But yeah, moving on again to October 13th, more reference images. I wanted to experiment with some art styles with this one. And just in general, that's going to become a trend where I'm just kind of bouncing between different art styles, trying to find myself. But yeah, this was reference, and then these were all objects in my room that I wanted to draw. So I could just kind of get a feel for, like, realism. Because, yeah, I'd always been doing, like, 2D fake stuff, so. But yeah, I did another full body one, big size art. Just trying to get more used to that. And I ended up getting pretty used to that by the end. And this is more, like, big size drawings. October 15th. That was sideways. I couldn't read it. October 15th. So I took another 2-day break and then made this big drawing here. October 15th still. Just trying to reinforce what I had already learned. And then trying to do some more actual, like, realistic anatomy, kind of. And I really liked how these legs turned out. These are really cool. And then I did some more arms here. These are pretty fun. I like the way these look. And then another full thing here. And then just a random little cute little skull guy. But yeah, and then we move on to like some actual really, really cool stuff. And this is the point where I'm going to start like showing references and stuff of what I had been making. These are both Seeker from Risk of Rain 2, and then these are both Zenyatta from Overwatch. I noticed a lot of similarities with their design, and I like playing them both a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna show. I've got the reference images saved on my computer still. This one for the left one, and then this one right here. This is the one that I think turned out really good. I'm super proud of it. Just here, I just took some screenshots in game. Right here, I just again just like grabbed a screenshot from the game and then clipped it. Tried to grab the pose that I thought would look the coolest. Yeah, and then moving on. This was like a no reference. Got a lot of notes on this, but it's not my favorite. It's very bad. It's like a huge head and then like weirdness. But this is like a character that I had been growing up. I wanted to make into like a real person, real like defined character. So that you're gonna see more of him later. And then this is Acrid, also from Risk of Rain. This is a really cool one. I'm really happy with how this came out. This is also a reference, so that's why it's so good. But yeah, here's the reference I used for that. And then I translated it over, added some fun little details. But yeah, and then we move on again to October 17th, where I'm doing some facial expressions with that same tiger character. Just trying to like make them not look blank-faced and boring. Because I think that's the most valuable thing about like making art, like cartoon style art, or that's what I'm going for. But yeah, more Seeker for Risk of Rain. I used a reference for this one, not for this one. You can very clearly notice the difference. And then this is when I got my new desk, November 3rd. So more breaks. Definitely not, this was not a daily thing, in case you're noticing. And I'm going to talk a lot about that at the end of this, after I've shown everything. But yeah, this is just my room. As you can see, that's my desk. I got it and it was like the coolest thing ever. It's so messy now, but it was clean when I got it. Oh, and I was just sitting here drawing around me, and yeah, I was really excited for that. So I took another 2-day break to November 5th. I just drew some random stuff. And then moving on again, November 7th. So I drew this one. This one's really cool. I was proud of it, no reference. And then I used reference for all the rest of this page. Just trying to experiment. This is a character from Don't Starve Together, War Talks. Moving on again to November 8th. This is my Grounded character. I'd been playing a lot of Grounded, and I just looked at my character and I was like, wow, I want to draw this. So I just opened up my, like, whatever you call it, my menu where you could see your character, and then I just sat there and drew this, like all the armor and gear I was wearing. And then I took a lot of creative liberties. I tried to like invent some new armor here. Like just like using a reference, but then expanding on it to make it look more interesting and like fantasy-like. Boots are mostly the same though, same with the hat. But yeah, really cool. And then these are all references, all from Risk of Rain 2. This is Void Fiend. He's got like a cannon for an arm. It's really cool. This is Acrid again, giving him like a thumbs up. And then this is Lunar Chimera, just a random enemy from the game. And then I drew like the environment around it. But yeah. And then this is where things start to go more original, like not using refs anymore. For better or for worse, you'll decide. This is one of my friend's characters that I decided to draw for fun. I invented a lot of stuff, like I made up this mask here, I made up this weapon. But yeah, I was really inspired based off of like that other drawing I did, the Grounded one. Like same kind of style where I could like make these cool weapons and clothing and stuff. That's just really, I realized how much fun it is to do stuff like that. So I definitely want to do more of this in the future, and I have a couple more of these, I think. But yeah, 11/21, November 21st. This is where I wanted to try and make like full-on like cartoon like straight lines, you know, as you can see here clearly, because all my other drawings here are like this. You can see like sketchy like chicken scratch lines. I wanted to try and do the opposite here and make like really defined like straight lines, and I think it looks really cool. There's a couple more of my characters here, and Foxy from FNAF. But yeah, and then I've got some notes here. But yeah, I think these are good. I like them a lot. And then this is just some more Grounded. Made up some cool armor, made a cool shield. But yeah, normal stuff, I guess. There's more people. Definitely glow down, I think, from the last ones. Like, this is disgusting, in my opinion. But, I mean, this one's okay. I like this one. But it's definitely hard to make human faces, in my opinion. This one's really cool. I'll get right to it in a second. This is Plants vs. Zombies, 11/25 here. But yeah, I played a lot of Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare when it was popular. None of these were referenced. I just drew them as I pictured them. And they turned out really nice, especially since I tried to do like this like super sharp, jagged like line style. Because I've seen that in a lot of things. And I actually have another picture over here. that like it completely unrelated. Yeah. It's accurate again. But like you can see like these jagged like cool lines. Like this is what I want to make. Like this is awesome. So I was kind of just picturing that, or just like keeping that like principle in mind, and I think it turned out really cool. And then like a lot of like the plant's actual stuff is really smooth and round. So like I think the contrast really like they play off each other really well. But yeah, and then moving on to this one, this is my grounded character again with some new gear. And then I gave the character some actual features like some cool hair, braid, and then a big baggy t-shirt, pants. But yeah, this is really good. This is in the top tier of stuff in this whole binder, notebook, sketchbook. It's really cool. I love it a lot. I love the way that I made this axe. As you can see, this axe is the same as this axe. Because, yeah, this was like at a weird perspective, and I just didn't have a cool idea to build it a certain way. I say build, but like I'm drawing, or as I'm drawing, but kind of the same thing if you think about it. But yeah, I really exaggerated like this huge like fantasy style. And then again, trying to go for like these jagged like shapes, especially so for this spicy staff here. Just trying to make it look like really like just badass. Like that's exactly what I wanted for it, and I think I achieved that pretty well. And then you can see I wrote down all of like the actual gear that I was wearing and using. If you want to look it up for like what I was or what it actually looks like, you can. But yeah, I'm really happy with this one. This one's, like I said, one of my favorites. But yeah, and then we go over to December 7th, so that's a big gap. But what I did for these was I just tried to learn the very basics of point perspective, 1 point, 2 point, 3 point. I think these are both 3 point perspective. But yeah, it's like all I did was dip my toes into it. I spent like not an hour, not even an hour, just trying to figure out how it worked. And it was hugely beneficial for me, as you can see. Like just that tiny bit of learning I did paid off so much, and I'll show you. And I really encourage learning that when it happens, when I show you the result. Yeah, that's the good one. That's the good one. This is a shot from Arcane. I just kind of tried to like study the pose and then like put a character that I liked in it, or like come up with a character. And then this is I'll explain that in a second. This kind of has a story. So yeah, when I was designing the hair for this character, I couldn't get it. I had no idea how to make it. This is, I put this on after studying the hair, and I still don't like it, but I literally was just like scribbling. I could not figure out how to make hair. So I came over here. I looked up some like hair tutorials, tried to learn how to make hair. It took me a long time. It took me like an hour and a half of just like studying, messing up. And I eventually got to this point where I'm not really happy with it, but it is a nice big step forward. This is big. And then, yeah, when I was designing this hair, I made like this little braid here, and I was like, oh, that's like Promised Neverland. So I wanted to try and look up a reference for that, and then I instead found this, this shot of that character from The Promised Neverland. And I thought it was really funny, and I loved the way, like, the crazy amount of expression that it had. So I just wanted to try and draw it and get it down to like kind of ingrain that in my mind, because this is what I want to draw, this crazy like fun emotion facial stuff. But yeah, December 12th. This one is awesome. This is gonna be, I think this is the first of like a couple like full page arts that that I had been doing. But yeah, it's like super cool. This torso, not the hands or the legs or the head, was I used a reference from My Hero Academia, literally like some random shot as I was watching the show, and I was like, wow, this clothing is so cool, I have to draw this. So I paused the show and I drew it, and then like everything evolved around it. Because yeah, as you can see, like these wrinkles, these shadows, never could have drawn that on my own. But the cool thing about it is afterwards, I have a really good understanding of wrinkles and stuff on clothing now, at least like the outlines, because of this drawing. Like, this gave me, like, it opened my eyes. It showed me a new perspective about it that I hadn't seen before. But yeah, and then if you look over here, this I made this using point perspective, like that tiny little bit that I learned, and I barely even tried on it. Like, I wasn't even using anything specific. I didn't even make like the line or the thing or anything. Like, it was just so easy, so second nature. And I'll show you. I have a picture that'll, like, if you're doubtful, I'm gonna disprove all your doubts right now. Just watch. All right, yeah, look right here. This is I think August or something, when I first started doing like these drawing like community posts. But yeah, you can see I have this cool like foreground background thing here, foreground like highlight here, and then I made like a background. And look at these buildings. This is when I first was making buildings for the first time. Like, do you see this? There's no depth to this at all. It looks like a children's drawing. And then like it's like kind of the same setting here, like of this, and then look at this. Look at these buildings. These look like buildings. This looks like it has depth, and it's like a whole cityscape. This is a kid's drawing, a child's drawing from kindergarten. But yeah, I spent an hour learning the basics of whatever you call it, point perspective, and then this is the instant result from that to this. So if you don't know point perspective, learn it. Like you don't need a lot, as you can see from my results. I just learned literally. Learned what it was, and learned how to do one single like set of like those lines, and then boom, instantly. Super good, amazing, love it. And then yeah, it's gonna continue to pay off in the future for sure. I can tell. But yeah, I just drew like this cool sky. I'm just gonna finish up this drawing because I spent too long on it already. I made this little furry guy, like looking somberly over, and then I made like this fog over here, like under his feet. Mostly as an excuse to not draw his feet because I didn't know how to do it with that perspective here. But yeah, and then we move on to some cool stuff. This is not cool, but this was me trying to just get like that more of the expression of movement. I tried to make this guy like looking like he's pushing really hard. 12-12, by the way. And I failed, I think. It's like it looks like he's about to start pushing instead of him actually pushing. So I definitely want to keep working on like having like that big expression movements. And then same thing over here, actually. This is 12-13. Drew this filth from Ultra Kill. And then I wanted to try and make him, no ref, by the way, yeah, pretty proud of that. I want to try and make it look like he was like poised, like standing and like ready to jump, like forward at least. But it looks like he's just hunched over. It doesn't look like he's like trying to jump or anything. So I'm definitely going to want to study specifically how to make that, from my phone, draw that like expressive movement that I'm lacking. But then I've got this stray here, pretty funny guy. He's doing like that 1,000-yard stare meme because he threw a projectile. He got it parried back to him. He's just waiting to die. And yeah, I did use a reference for this one, obviously. I could not draw this good yet. But yeah, and then this one actually I'm really happy with. 12-14. All three of these drawings are amazing. I'm super proud of them. Drew, what do you call this? My character, Onyx. And I wanted to actually get like a cool final design for him because like every time I would draw him, he'd just be so like wishy-washy. He wouldn't have any like fully defined features. But this time I went really crazy with it. Made like specific eyes, specific ears, and then like the fur on his head. Made it like really specific. Gave him like some cool clothes. And then this is another just like actual drawing of him sitting at a desk, very not happy. And then you can see this desk I made with point perspective, and it's just like so simple, like it just works perfectly. And then I tried to do like the side profile. It actually turned out amazing. I'm happy with it. I might have to highlight this with pencil. It's looking kind of faded, but yeah, it's like really cool. I like it because I had never done anything like that. As you can see, like these are all like 2D, and then I went for like a sideways view, and it's like whoa. But I'm glad it turned out well. And then this was me 12-16 trying to just like rotate his head, and then I couldn't. I gave up on that. Which is not something you should do. You shouldn't give up on it. But 12-18 again. Drawing some characters from Beastars because I noticed how stark of a contrast their anime designs versus their manga designs are. So I like took a reference picture from the show, drew it, and then I took a reference picture from the manga. This is the same character. Just kind of wanted to like study different art styles again. This was just kind of like a big creative burst. I was just doing this at night. I was on a call with some friends. And yeah, I think a lot of these turned out really good, aside from the human ones. I tried to do like a side person, because I'd never done that before. And then more hair, trying to just experiment, make some cool looking hair. But yeah, and then I made these. This one's really cool. It's like a big like Dragon Ball power-up look for it. And then just like another set of like, trying to just establish like a full design, proper design for them. And I think, yeah, it's like every one of these you can tell, like this is the same character. Not this one. But yeah. I like it. I did these clothes. These clothes look really cool. Gave him like a sword. He's in like a cool action pose. Like this one and this one are both very like anime fight scene style, which is exactly what I'm going for because I want to make like when I make this into like a like an anime show. Definitely not going to get it animated. Probably I'm going to make like a comic, like a manga. But I wanted to have tons of action scenes because that's always been like the coolest thing for me to watch. Like I watched like the My Hero Academia that's it. I can't think of anything else. But yeah, it's like that's like the coolest stuff to me. But yeah, going to 1220 here, getting to the end. I've made another full art thing, talking about it like it's a Pokemon card. But yeah, this one I just made in the morning, listened to some music, try to get him to like sit on this cool thing. He's at a beach, uh, made this cool like fantasy skyscape here, and I think it looks really awesome. But yeah, and then I've got whatever you call it, foreground, background. I noticed that they kind of blend together. It's not fully separated, so I didn't really know what to do about that. But otherwise, I have like no complaints. I'm really happy with this one. And we're gonna move on. I think yeah, this is the last page right here. So December 21st. So still on a 2-day break. I gotta start filling this out some more. But yeah, just some random stuff here. Try to do another like small drawing, and I noticed like it's really hard. I'm getting a lot better at getting used to big drawings, like you can see right here. And then I tried to go back down, and it's like the quality difference is so noticeable. But yeah, this is Onyx again, and then like another little buddy of his that I drew. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. It's cool. It's just like it's so noticeably like you're so limited. It's the better way to say it. Like you can't do as much on a small drawing as you can with this, and that's really displayed right here. Actually, is because I've got this cool like big perspective going. It's like another like fight scene starting. But yeah. Really cool. Got like that tiger guy again. He's definitely gonna be like the bad guy of this story here that I've got. But yeah, I drew like this is supposed to be Onyx. He's got this cool like knife on him. He's got a little locket because you know that fight scene from Arcane. I'm gonna pull it up. Right here where he's you know, if you've seen it, you know. But like he's got like this dangling thing, and it's like a cool like really fun like setup. I wasn't trying to do that exact thing, but that's just what I was thinking of. But yeah, how do I pause this? There we go. And then yeah, that's it. This is where I'm leaving off for now. Definitely gonna keep continuing, but yeah, that's all of that. I'm gonna have a little talking section now because there's a lot on my mind about like this particular experience of mine. So let me just set the camera up, and then I want to talk about it because the thumbnail says the main thing I want to talk about is the consistency of it, because you can tell I pointed out like there's tons of breaks in it. There's tons of just like huge gaps in between like one drawing to the next, and they always say in art it's like, oh, you gotta be consistent. They say that for everything. And as far as I know, what I've gathered from that is no, it is not needed. Like you can see how much progress I'm making despite those big gaps. Like I'm not losing knowledge in between those things. Like it's not like my art skills are on the upward rise, and then like I take a break and it's like, oh, now I got to start from behind again. It stays here. It's more of a straight line, and then you go up. So I'd say the only downside to taking these breaks like this is you're losing out on the time when you could just be going straight up the whole time. But obviously not a lot of people got time for that. I don't got time for that. my life is super busy. But yeah, I mean, it's like draw as much as you can. Absolutely, that would be my advice. But don't get too caught up on like, oh, I have to draw every single day, because that's what I was like for the beginning of this book. You can see I was like every single day. It was like October 8th, I got like 2 pages done. October 9th, it's like 3 pages done. Like I was unemployed, so that's how you know that's why that was. But now I got a job. I don't have time to be doing this every single day, and a lot of times as well, it's just I do have the time and I just don't because I'm doing other things. So it's a big mix-up. It's not as cut in stone as everyone says it is, where it's you have to be super consistent. You have to like put all this time in. You do if you want to become Pablo Picasso, but if that's not what you're going for, then don't worry about it. Just do it at your own pace, and then you'll learn at your own pace, and then the results will come. And yeah, you know what I want to clear up right now, because I've been like going through this thing, and it's like, oh, furry here, furry there. I'm not a furry. People I know in real life who make fun of me, it's just what I'm into. All these furry shows, all these furry things are just cool. Because if you just draw a person going through a midlife crisis in like a dystopian world, yeah, it's cool. Or like a realistic world, but the fun about like these kinds of stories where it's like they're animals, you can do so much more with that. Like Zootopia, like it's like racism, but like 10 more layers. It just adds so much depth to characters, to worlds. Not to mention designs are so much more fun. You can just like make like crazy fur, crazy colors. Like for a person, when you design a person, it's like, oh, his nose is a little wider. Like that's boring. But that's kind of like my 2 cents on that. I just wanted to talk about that because that's not something I had spoken of before. Don't get it twisted, all right? I'm not a furry. But that's it, I guess. Yeah, I want to talk a little more about the consistency thing, just to be like drive that home. Like that had been a big problem for me, for all of my hobbies that I've been doing, like music, drawing, like everything, piano. I think I pointed the wrong way. Like consistency is not like the end all do all. Is that the saying? You can be inconsistent and still grow. Like you can tell, like these results are not lying to you. Like look at this guy I drew. Like you think this is like where I've been, and then I took huge breaks, huge everythings, but these are all crazy cool. Is that focused? Yeah. And then these guys are hideous, but I'll make more people. But like that's huge progress. You can't deny that. And it's not like I said before, the only downside is like your progress is going to be slower. That's it. So like if you're on like a big time crunch, got a cool coin here, then yeah, I'd say try and like do it as much as you can. Don't rush it, obviously, because then you're going to start getting sloppy. You're going to start not learning as much. But yeah, to be inconsistent, nobody cares in the long run. The only boundaries that exist are the ones you set for yourself. So don't get too caught up on those things, and you'll be good. Yeah, that's kind of just, I wanted to show you like my progress that I've been doing. Because yeah, I'm gonna be making a lot more drawing content. I'm gonna be focused on drawing for a long time. So this is stage 1, 3 months of progress, and then yeah, I'm gonna definitely be doing a lot more with drawing in the future. I'm gonna be able to compare my new stuff to this stuff. This is gonna be the first stuff that I do, first drawings that I do. So yeah, I just wanted to put it on here. Yeah, and then like as encouragement as well, I've been giving like advice of like my experience, because like what I don't like about it is eventually like when you do learn those things like perspective and stuff, a lot of times it feels like a chore, and like you're learning like some stupid like subject in school, and obviously, as you can tell, since I dropped out, that's not my jam. So that's why I said when I learned like the very most basic basics that you can about perspective, like learn the very basics and then experiment and have fun with that concept on your own. That's what I did, and I found it to be a lot more fun, and I learned a lot better that way. Yeah, so if you share my perspective on that, where it's like, oh, I don't want to just sit here and like, oh, follow these tutorials and like learn all this stupid stuff. Learn like what it is and how to do it bare bones, like 15 minutes tutorial, look it up, figure it out, and then spend like the rest of your time just fucking with it, just finding out how it works on your own, finding out how you can like mix it with your art style, your aspirations as an artist, and then that'll be cool. You'll learn that way. It'll be more adaptable, more engaging, I guess, instead of like studying basically, which I never studied for a single test in my life. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Glad to be back. I'm gonna be trying to put a lot of videos out. I noticed that like YouTube itself is like a pretty time-consuming hobby as far as all my other things, but I'm willing to do it, and it pays off. So I'm gonna keep doing it for you guys, for me, for you. Yeah, that's it. I'm kind of just talking more than I need to talk. I'm gonna just send you guys off now. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.